The document on screen right now is dated 3 months ago, stamped across the top with the words Toyota Service Notice, internal reference, and the body of it reads like something nobody outside a dealer service bay was ever supposed to see clearly. Halfway down the page, under a section about variable valve timing diagnostics, there's a line that stops you cold. It describes a correlation between diagnostic trouble codes P1016 and P1017, the codes that flag camshaft to crankshaft position mismatch, and what the document calls timing chain elongation beyond service tolerance. That phrase, timing chain elongation, is the polite engineering way of saying the chain inside your engine, the one Toyota told you would last the life of the vehicle, is stretching. And the document goes on to note that vehicles presenting with these codes are increasingly arriving with no prior warning to the owner. No check engine light history, no recall, no service bulletin sent to your mailbox, just a code, a noise, and a repair bill that lands somewhere between unpleasant and devastating. If you drive a Toyota built between 2010 and 2017, a Camry, a RAV4, a Highlander, a Scion TC, a Venza, there's a real chance this document is describing your engine right now and you have no idea. So before you scroll past, do me a favor, hear me out for the next few minutes, because what's inside that document and what's happening inside those engines is the kind of thing you'd want to know before the rattle becomes a knock and the knock becomes a tow truck. Let's clear something up first, because half the confusion around this whole subject comes from a single misconception that's been baked into car buying advice for 2 decades. Most people, when they hear timing component, immediately think timing belt. They think rubber. They think 90,000 mile replacement interval. They think planned maintenance. They think of a job they've heard their uncle complain about. And because of that, when they hear a Toyota dealer or a forum post say their car has a timing chain instead of a belt, they exhale. Chains are metal. Chains last forever. Chains are the reason you bought a Toyota in the first place. That belief is exactly what makes the situation so dangerous. Because Toyota's official position, the one printed in your owner's manual, the one repeated by service advisors, the one echoed across the internet, is that the timing chain in these engines is a lifetime component. No replacement interval, no inspection schedule, no maintenance line item. And to be fair to Toyota, under perfect conditions, with perfect oil changes, with perfect driving habits, with perfect cold start behavior, that may indeed be true. The chain is designed to outlast the engine. The engineering tolerances support it. The metallurgy supports it. On paper, it's a solid claim. The problem is that engines don't live on paper. They live in driveways in Phoenix where the oil cooks. They live with 10,000-mile oil change intervals because somebody read a marketing brochure about synthetic. They live with a quart low for months because the dipstick check got skipped. And inside those real engines, in those real conditions, the chain isn't behaving the way the engineering brief promised. It's stretching, slowly, invisibly, asymmetrically, but measurably. And the affected engines tend to fall into a very specific group. The 2ARFE is the headliner here. That's the 2.5-liter four-cylinder you'll find in the 2010 through 2017 Camry and RAV4, along with the Scion TCs and a stretch of Venzas. It's also closely related to the 1ARFE, the 2.7-liter four-cylinder used in larger RAV4s, and the Highlander. Both share a similar timing chain architecture, similar VVTi actuation, and similar tensioner geometry. And then there's the 2GRFE, the 3.5-liter V6 that powered Camrys, Avalons, Highlanders, Siennas, and a slew of Lexus models in roughly the same era. The V6 uses multiple chains, which complicates the picture, but field reports from independent shops keep flagging the same family of symptoms. Cold start rattle, intermittent codes, a vague, hard-to-pin sluggishness. If your car is on that list, this isn't theoretical. It's the engine in your driveway. Now here's where it gets technical, and I'm going to slow down. Because the mechanism behind chain stretch is where most explanations on the internet completely lose the thread. The phrase chain stretch is itself a little misleading. The links of modern timing chain aren't really getting longer the way a rubber band stretches. What's actually happening is wear at the pin and bushing interface inside every single link. There are dozens, sometimes hundreds, of those interfaces in a single chain. Each one wears a few microns. Multiply that across the whole chain, and the chain's effective length grows. Not by miles, by millimeters. But in an engine where camshaft timing is measured in fractions of a degree, millimeters matter enormously. Think about an old bicycle chain, the kind you find on a bike that's been parked behind a shed for years. The metal hasn't softened, the links haven't elongated visibly. But ride that bike up a hill and you'll feel it. The chain skips, the shifts feel mushy, the cadence is off. That's because grit and time have worn every pin, every bushing, every contact patch by a hair, and the cumulative effect makes the chain behave longer than it actually is. That's exactly what's happening inside the 2ARFE. Years of cold starts where oil hasn't reached the upper end yet. Years of marginal oil pressure during those first 3 seconds. Years of slightly contaminated oil scraping past the guide plastics. Each insult is microscopic. The sum is geometric. And here's where the engine architecture turns a small problem into a big one. Toyota's VVT-I system, variable valve. Timing with intelligence, actively adjusts. Cam phasing using a hydraulic actuator on the front of the camshaft. That actuator depends on the chain being in a precise expected position relative to the crank. The engine control module monitors the relationship between the crankshaft position sensor and the camshaft position sensor, constantly comparing the actual cam phase to the commanded phase. When the chain elongates, even by a small amount, the cam starts arriving late to its position. The ECM sees the mismatch. It throws a P1016, camshaft position correlation, bank 1, sensor A, or its cousin, P1017. Or, when the VVT actuator tries to compensate and can't get there in time, P1011, camshaft position timing, over-advanced or system performance. But, and this is the part that makes it dangerous, these codes are often intermittent in the early stages. The chain doesn't fail all at once, it worsens. The cold start rattle might last a second one morning, 2 seconds the next week, a half second on a warm day. The code might log and clear, never quite tripping a permanent check engine light. You might feel a faint hesitation under load, a slightly rougher idle at a stoplight, a fuel economy dip you blame on the gas station. You're not imagining it. The engine is sliding out of spec quietly while the dashboard stays dark. The tensioner is the other half of the story, and it deserves its own breath. The chain in your engine isn't running tight all on its own. It's kept tight by a hydraulic tensioner, essentially a small piston that uses oil pressure to push a guide against the chain, keeping it taut on the slack side. That tensioner has a ratcheting mechanism, so it can extend as the chain wears, but it relies on clean, pressurized oil to do its job at every startup. When oil sits in the pan overnight, the tensioner can partially bleed down. On a healthy engine with fresh oil and a tight chain, that's a non-event. Pressure builds in milliseconds, and the tensioner reseats before you hear anything. But when oil is old, sludgy, or low, or when the chain is already stretched, that first second of startup becomes a window of vulnerability. The chain slaps against its guides. The plastic guides shave a little more. Debris enters the tensioner. The cycle accelerates. So how do you know? How do you, sitting in your driveway with no fancy equipment, actually figure out whether your engine is on the slow slide or still solid? There's a hierarchy of checks, and you can do most of them yourself or with a basic scan, tool that costs less than a tank of gas. Start with the easiest, cheapest, most informative test in the world. Tomorrow morning, before you drive anywhere, before you've started the engine in at least 8 hours, walk out to the car with your phone recording audio. Pop the hood. Position the phone near the front of the engine, around the timing cover area. Then go start the car normally and let it idle for 30 seconds. Play back the audio. What you're listening for is a metallic rattle. Not a soft tick, not a fuel injector chatter, but a distinct chain-like clatter from the front of the engine that lasts more than about 1 second after startup. A healthy 2 AR FE settles into smooth idle almost immediately. A stretching chain announces itself. If you hear it, the next step is to get a scan tool capable of reading live data. Not just a code reader, but one that can display VVT cam phaser angle in real time. Many smartphone-based OBD2 dongles can do this with the right app. With the engine warm and idling, you're looking at the commanded versus actual camshaft phase angle. On a healthy engine, that difference tends to sit under about 3 degrees. Toyota service literature, in the kind of internal documents text reference, tends to flag concern when the offset between commanded and actual creeps past about 8 degrees of cam phaser deviation. If you're seeing readings in that range or higher, especially under transient throttle, you're looking at strong evidence of mechanical elongation, not a sensor or solenoid issue. There's one more check, and it requires getting under the valve cover, which means it's either a DIY job if you're confident or a 1-hour shop visit if you're not. With the valve cover off, you can visually inspect the timing chain guides for excessive wear, deep grooves, missing chunks of plastic, dark debris in the oil galleries. You can also see the tensioner mark, which is a small indicator that shows how far the tensioner has ratcheted out to compensate for chain length. If the tensioner is near the end of its travel, the chain has been working hard. That's a fingerprint of long-term wear. Now let's return to Toyota's official position, because we need to look at it honestly. Toyota says the timing chain is a lifetime component. They don't list a replacement interval. They don't require inspection. And from a fleet-wide statistical standpoint, the majority of these engines do go several 100,000 miles without ever needing chain service. That's true. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. If you walked into a Toyota dealer with a 2014 Camry showing no symptoms, asked for a timing chain inspection, and they told you it wasn't needed, they'd be following the manufacturer's guidance to the letter. But field data from independent shops, the kind of mechanics who see what actually rolls in off the street, not what the marketing department forecasts, tells a different story for a specific slice of these vehicles. Cars driven hard, cars with extended oil change intervals, cars that lived in hot climates, cars that ran low on oil for stretches, cars that did mostly short trips where the oil never fully reached temperature. In that slice, chain elongation tends to show up well before the engine's natural end of life, sometimes at 120,000 miles, sometimes at 90,000. The lifetime claim is true on average. It's not always true for your car. And averages don't pay your repair bills. Which brings us to the playbook. Here's how you act on what you've learned this week. If your cold start rattle lasts longer than about 1 second, the next step is a scan tool reading of your VVT cam phaser offset. That's an under $20 tool plus an evening of your time. If that offset is sitting comfortably under 3 degrees, you're likely in good shape, and the rattle may be tension or bleed down, manageable, with shorter oil change intervals and a high-quality full synthetic oil that holds pressure. If the offset is creeping toward or past 8 degrees, you're looking at chain and tensioner replacement. Done preventively, that job, chain, tensioner, guides, gaskets, tends to run somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200 at an independent shop, depending on your region. Not cheap, but survivable. If you ignore it, and this is the part the dealer won't usually spell out, and the chain skips a tooth, the consequences shift from inconvenient to catastrophic. These are interference engines. When the chain jumps, the valves don't get out of the piston's way in time. They meet, hard. You're looking at bent valves at minimum potentially damaged pistons, possibly a destroyed cylinder head. Repair bills in that scenario can climb to $4,500 or significantly more, and at that price, many owners walk away from the car entirely. So the math is brutal but clear. $1,200 now or $4,500 later, with no guarantee the engine survives the wait. Here's what I'd tell you to do this weekend if you owned one of these cars. Walk out tomorrow morning, record the cold start. Listen, if you have any doubt, get a scan tool and read the cam phaser angle. If you're outside the safe range, get the job done before the chain decides for you. And while you're at it, look back at your last few oil changes. If they've been stretching past 5,000 miles, tighten that schedule. Use the oil viscosity Toyota specified, not the one that sounded thinner or cheaper. Check your level monthly. These engines reward attention and punish neglect, and the chain is where the punishment shows up first. Check your car this weekend. If you drive a 2010 to 2017 Camry or RAV4, or you know somebody who does, share this with them today. Before the rattle stops being a curiosity and starts being a tow bill, the document on screen at the start of this video isn't going to mail itself to your driveway. The warning is the one you give yourself.